Welcome to the SingaCup 2021. Hi everyone, my name is Faranaya and I'll be your host and moderator for this evening. Thank you so much though for joining us here. Now a little backstory if you don't already know this, the SingaCup is the largest and fastest growing 11-a-side international youth football tournament in Asia, which started in 2011, featuring 12 teams ranging from the under-8s all the way till the under-18s. And for the first time ever, this year we'll see a hybrid edition of e-game tournaments as well as the return of physical tournaments. So hopefully next year, we will see the full resumption of team sports to welcome our greater SingaCup family from the international community. And what makes this year's edition even more special is that the main focus is all about women football and women empowerment. So there is no better way to kick things off than with an individual who has achieved so much at just 21 years of age. An Australian international and a defender for French Giants, Lyon. I'm so pleased to welcome Ellie Carpenter. Ellie, how are you? And thank you so much for joining us here today.
Hi, everyone. So glad I could be here, obviously over Zoom, but yeah, very honoured and to speak to you guys today. And yeah, I'm doing very well and yeah, excited to get this morning underway.
I'm so glad you're doing well. Now, let's just get straight into it. I feel like we only have an hour, but I feel it's just going to just run fast. So let's get straight into it. Let's first begin with your journey in football. How did you get started in it?
Yeah, for me, I think a quick background of myself. I grew up in a small country town in Australia, and my older brother played football and I wanted to be just like him. So I always went down the park with him and wanted to play in his team. I never wanted to play by myself with the girls' team. I always wanted to be with my brother. So I think I followed in his footsteps a lot. And he taught me how to be competitive and aggressive on the field. And I think having that and having an older brother to look up to really helped me. And around 11 or 12, I fell really in love with the game. And I knew that's what I really wanted to do and to make a future out of it. And kind of things just fell from there, and I made the move to Sydney, and opportunities came, and yeah, I kind of landed myself here now, but it's been a long journey, but yeah, very happy that I chose football and soccer. And I think the game's just growing so much even now. I've seen being in the women's game especially, and I think even more years to come, it'll be even bigger, but I'm very proud to be that pathway also for women's football to see how much it has grown.
Now, I actually wanted to ask you who your role model was, but judging by your last answer, your brother was obviously one of them. So I'll kick that out of the way. But is there anyone else that you actually look up to in the game itself?
When I was growing up, I did look up to David Beckham a lot. Obviously, when he used to play, he was my idol, and I wanted to be like him, obviously in the women's game. And I remember watching him all the time playing, and I actually got to see him live in Sydney one point. So I think seeing him really inspired me. But I used to watch a lot of football growing up, especially the Women's World Cup in 2015. That really inspired me as well. But now these days, there's so much more coverage on women's football, which is so great for, the young generation.
You're absolutely right. And speaking of the young generation, you're one yourself. You're only 21 years old. And the success that has followed you has been incredible. Now, I have a whole list of the things that you've achieved. So I'm going to read them out loud. You made your debut at 15 for the Australian national team. You were the youngest football player ever to compete at the 2016 Rio Olympics. And you've been awarded the Women's Young Footballer of the Year for 3 consecutive years. When you hear all these achievements mentioned out loud to you, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I guess saying that out loud, it still doesn't really feel real almost. I feel like I'm so focused on football and things, I never really take the time to stop and realize what I have achieved. But I'm very proud to be the player that I am today, and obviously winning all those awards and all those accolades. I guess it's always goes back to the team and the team that I've been in, and they have helped me win those awards or make my debut at 15 for the national team. Obviously, that was one of the dreams of mine, was to play for Australia and represent my country on the world stage. But I think it just goes to show no matter how old you are, you can, achieve your dreams and and prove people wrong. And I think that's one thing that I like to put out there to especially young players, that doesn't matter how old you are or where you come from, that you can still make it. And I guess I'm just proud to be that kind of person that's leading that pathway in that area as well.
That is so incredible to hear. Now, as a player, be it the men's or the women's game, you ideally want to end up in Europe, and you've done that. You've been with Lyon a little over a year. Talk us through that experience so far. And do you remember when Lyon came calling?
Yeah, it's obviously been a dream of mine to play in Europe, and a dream of mine since I was young to land at Lyon. Obviously, it's one of the best women's clubs in the world. It has such a rich history of Champions League winners and league champions. So when I did get the call, I was very, very shocked, but very excited. And yeah, being here for nearly a year and a half now, I love it here and really embracing the French culture. And I'm learning French. I can speak French a little bit now. But the football here is second to none, and the environment and the club and their ambitions as well. So I'm very happy here, and such an honour to be part of such a club like this.
That is great. Now, Ellie, of course, success, we've mentioned it a few times now. Success comes with its own set of challenges, doesn't it? What has been your biggest challenge so far in your playing career?
Yeah, I think there's obviously so many challenges in football, and it might look all pretty from the outside, a professional footballer's life, but there is so many, down moments or low moments. And I think one for me would be I moved away from home very early. I was 15 and I moved on the other side of the world by myself. I think that was a big shock to me, but obviously I got to grow up quick and had to live by myself, know how to cook for myself. I think it was a big shift, and I think one that people don't really know the sacrifices that some footballers do make of being away from family for so long. I didn't see my family for 2 years until a month ago, obviously with COVID times and everything. But I think there's so many, obstacles that us footballers have to overcome. But at the end of the day, that just makes us stronger. And I think for me, it was the best thing to do is just, to try and do that on my own and to build strength and by myself. So yeah, I don't regret anything, but I think it's definitely made me stronger, being by myself and, going through some of those challenges alone. But yeah, I'm very happy that I did. And it's, I guess, created and become the person that I am today.
Now, we've spoken about your set of challenges. When it comes to football and Southeast Asian athletes, it always seems like it's a whole different set of challenge on its own. What are your thoughts on this and the chances of Southeast Asian female athletes in particular making it to that part of the world?
Yeah, I think it's been difficult, obviously, for me also being in the Asian Confederation with Australia. And I know that there's not as many opportunities as there is in Europe for Asian countries, but I definitely think that's changing. And especially with, the Asian Cup, I think that's such a big thing for us and for the teams, and to get exposure. And obviously with more leagues around the world and, happening in Asia as well, I think that will definitely help the growth of women's football. But I think for us, especially with the Asian Cup next year, I think that's important to showcase the talent that we have in Asia. And I think it's a very, important competition that, young girls can inspire to be that, and that obviously get opportunities from there. But I definitely think since I've been in the game, the international game, for over 5 years, I can definitely see the growth, and that's exciting. And I think it's just going to keep growing even more.
We've spoken at length of your numerous achievements, but what is next on the list for you? What do you hope to achieve in the near future?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm very focused here at my club in Lyon, and we have, a big Champions League ambition. We obviously want to win that. And obviously with the national team, we have the World Cup in 2023 in Australia. So that's a big goal of mine to be there. And then obviously to try and win that, I think that would be amazing to be World Cup champions on home soil. So hopefully that's what's next for me. I guess keep working hard and dreaming, and trying to get better every day.
Now, this edition of the SingaCup, and I think you've made mention of a little bit of it just now. I'll focus the theme of this year at least is on women empowerment. What is your take on this, especially for you, where it's predominantly in a male-dominated field?
Yeah, I think it's so important, obviously, to have women in sport, and you can see now that it's getting so much more exposure. There's so many more women's coaches, women, leagues, all girls teams, and I think that's so important for the growth. And women are so strong, and we're just as good or just as have as much skills as men, I think. And I think now we're really starting to show that, and I guess I'm proud to be part of that movement. And also, I think you look at, we just played recently some games in Australia, and we sold out the crowd, and we had 40,000 people at our games, and that's just a standalone women's football match. So definitely, I think if you give women coverage and funding, I think definitely women's sport can go a long way. And yeah, like I said, I'm just proud to be a part of that movement.
I feel like it's gonna be ridiculous because I keep repeating that you're just 21 and you've done all of this in life, right? And you said that you're so proud to be part of that movement. How, if you could describe it like further in detail, how does that actually make you feel to know that you're leading that movement?
Yeah, I guess it's very humbling to know that, and to be a role model for young girls. I feel very proud. And for me, when I was growing up, I didn't have many women footballers to look up to, as there wasn't many football games I could watch or football games I could go see. So I think now the exposure of women's football is so much better than 10 years ago. And for me, when I see a little girl wearing my jersey on the back of her, or my name or my number, it feels so special, because I would have loved to have that when I was a kid, and how much more that would have inspired me to keep playing. So I think I'm just very proud to inspire the next generation and those girls that it is possible to follow their dreams and become a professional footballer. And I think now, obviously, my full-time job is a footballer, and it's sometimes crazy when people ask me, what do you do? And I go, oh, I'm a footballer. And I think that's really cool that now women can say that. And I think that's, 5 years ago, I don't think a woman could say that, and now they can. So yeah, it's just really nice to be able to inspire and to be a part of that. And yeah, I feel very honored.
It's interesting that you said, like, probably 5 years ago, women especially couldn't have said that, I'm a footballer. Do you remember any instances where, you had said, I play football for a living, that's what I want to do when I grow up, and people give you a little bit of a look and, just don't believe that you just said that? Has that ever been a problem for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think 5 years ago or so, I left school quite early, and there was a lot of people saying, why are you leaving? Why are you doing this? You can't make a living out of women's football. Like, are you crazy? And, there's always going to be people that's saying that. But one thing that I like to do is prove people wrong. And at that point, like, no, did I think that women's football, you could make a living out of it? Like, yes, I thought that you could. And yeah, a couple of years later, you could do that. So I'm just very glad that, I guess I took that risk and did that. But I guess people are always going to have something to say. But now I just kind of keep my head down, work hard, and I guess show them on the pitch or show them with what I'm doing. But there's people who just say that, I guess, because they're not in your shoes, if that makes sense.
What does your family think of it, your close friends at least?
Yeah, I think they're very proud. Obviously, they miss me a lot. I haven't been home properly in around 4 or 5 years or so. But they're a big reason of why I am here and why I am today. My family have sacrificed so much for me to be where I am. And I guess believed in me and thought that I could have the potential to be something or go somewhere and try my best. So thank you to them, I guess. And yeah, they're very proud. They're always my number one fans. They watch every game. So I'm very grateful to have them in my corner, and whenever I need them, they're always there. So I'm very lucky, and privileged to have such a great support system.
Now, Ali, it's more than fair to say that you've already made it. I mean, of course, there's still plenty for you left to achieve, but I would say that you've achieved quite a bit at a very young age. So if you could give one piece of advice to any of the young female athletes, what would it be?
Yeah, I think I get asked this question a lot, and I think for me, one thing is, never stop working towards what you want. And for me, yes, I've had people tell me that you'll never make it, you're not good enough. And I think the best thing that you can do is just stay in your own lane, is work on you, focus on you, and every day to get one day better. And yeah, work hard. Your work ethic, I think, is the most important. And for me, I feel like that's one thing that I have never stopped doing, is working hard no matter what, even if I don't feel like it that day. I think it's just going back to the basics and asking yourself, why do you do this? And it's because you love the game and you just want to keep getting better. So I think definitely stay focused, stay in your own lane, and if you keep working hard, and then you achieve it if you want it enough.
That's great. Now, on the subject of advice, what has been the best advice you have received in your career?
Yeah, I have been given a fair few different ones from obviously different coaches and mentors, but I think one is never give up. And obviously there's going to be obstacles everywhere, and you don't get selected, or you don't get in the starting 11, or you're on the bench. And I think just that never give up attitude and, sticking to what you believe, I think that's important. And one that I always do is never give up. Obviously that can be in a game, if you're the 80th minute and you're losing, I think that never give up attitude, or never say die. I think that's what I live by, and I always give 100%. So that's probably one advice that's always stuck with me, is never give up no matter how hard it gets.
That is great. Now, Ellie, I feel like you've mentioned David Beckham a fair few times. Is it fair to say that you were probably a United fan growing up?
Sorry, say that again?
Is it fair to say that you were probably a Man United fan growing up?
I did follow Man U, yes, but I also followed Arsenal growing up. My dad did, so I think whatever my family followed, I always had a jersey or something here and there. But yeah, I did follow a couple of teams in the EPL.
So fair to say it's Arsenal then? You grew up supporting Arsenal?
Yeah, I did.
That's lovely. You still follow them now? Do you still follow the Premier League team?
I do, yeah. I do watch some of the games. I wouldn't say my team is Arsenal now. I do watch, but I wouldn't say I have one particular team that I go for. But I think I do watch a lot of the Lyon games, and I think just because I'm at the club, and I obviously support the men now that I'm here. But yeah, definitely when I was growing up, it was Arsenal, but now I'm just a bit everyone pretty much. I just watch them all.
You're just a huge lover of the game, like all of us. Now, Ellie, before we move on to the next segment, my last question is: you're a defender, right? Have you always wanted to be a defender? Was it a position that you evolved into eventually?
Actually, yeah, funny you asked that, because when I was younger, I was actually a midfielder. I obviously love getting forward, and that's also what I can do now as being a right back. But I was a midfielder, and then I kind of got transitioned into a centre back when I was young, and then finally I ended up on the right back. So, but I do love being a defender, especially a right back, because you can get the best of both worlds. You can go forward and defend. So I think it's the perfect position for me. And yeah, I think now I only see myself as a defender. So it's funny, because I used to love playing midfield and playing up front, but I think definitely now, obviously, that's where I'm best at. So yeah.
You've settled into the role, and we see you flourishing in that role.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Ellie, that is absolutely amazing. We've learned so much about you already, and I have to thank you for the insights that you've shared with us for the past 20 minutes or so. But now it's time for a little bit more fun. We have two contest winners and fans, both as well from Down Under. in our midst who would like to have the chance to ask you their own set of questions. So we have two of them. First is Lucy Sao and Joanne Lau. So maybe we will have Lucy Sao going first. Lucy, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Lucy, I bet you're very excited to ask Ellie your questions. So take it away.
Well, my first question is actually, who's your favorite person you've ever played with?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, wow. I feel like I've played with so many amazing players, obviously with the clubs that I've been at and within Australia as well. But I think I would have to probably say Lindsay Horan when I was in Portland. I think she's an amazing player, world-class player, and really enjoyed playing with her on the pitch.
What's your favorite team you've played with?
I would have to say here at Lyon, I love this team. Every day is just so enjoyable, and I have so much fun when I'm on the pitch with them, playing with them. Everyone is obviously such a good player, and it's just so enjoyable to play good football all the time. And also we have a lot of fun off the pitch as well, and there's a good vibe. And so, yeah, I would have to say Lyon.
What's the best and worst part of being a professional football player?
I would have to say the worst part would probably be never really seeing my family and always being away from home. I do miss Australia a lot sometimes, especially the sun and the beaches and the coffee. But I would say the best part would be, I guess, traveling the world, playing in different cities, countries, and just meeting friends like that you will have for life. Like, I feel like I have so many friends now from so many different countries that I've played with, and think you only can get those experiences from traveling the world. And obviously playing, at Olympics and World Cups, that's also pretty cool, and why you want to be a footballer, really.
What was it that made you go like, yep, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, like pursue football as a career?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I guess I was around 12 or 13, and I kind of made the decision that I wanted to go all in with football. Obviously, I was very heavily involved in athletics. So I made that decision, and I think I made that decision because it was a team sport, and I wanted to be a part of a team and not do, individual athletics. And I think what made me think that was, I guess, the opportunities that laid ahead. I could see myself, doing so many things within football and hoping I could do that. So I think, yeah, I guess the opportunities and the places it could take me, that's why I chose football.
That's all the questions I have.
Lucy, that is absolutely amazing. What did you make of it? What did you make of the time with Ellie?
I'm speechless. It's not actually my first time meeting you. I met you when I was like 8. I played for Rosalie. You used to be an ambassador for...
Oh, yeah. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, my dad's the president.
Oh, cool. You still play for them?
Yeah, I actually do.
Oh, nice.
Well, I actually met you last year when you played for Melbourne City.
Oh, yep.
I had longer hair then. And I was actually next to your mom, like after the game and everything. I did cry.
That's nice. What did you say, sorry?
I did cry when I met you.
Oh, well, I'm so glad I'm getting to speak to you now, and I can meet you virtually properly and answer some of your questions. So, yeah, thank you for your questions.
That's
You're
absolutely
welcome.
lovely. Thank you so much, Lucy, for your questions. Now, next up, we do have Joanne. Joanne, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Joanne, it's your turn. Ask
Okay.
away.
G'day, Ellie. It's Jo from the Gold Coast.
Hello.
Firstly, G'day, hi. Firstly, congrats on getting into the FIFA Pro World 11 for the shortlist. That's just brilliant. You've had a stellar year. It's been a real pleasure to see you play for the Matildas. But I'm just thinking with Leon, I mean, gosh, you've only lost 2 in 39 matches. So coming up to the UEFA finals, who do you think is going to be your toughest opponent?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, obviously it's being here. We don't like to lose at all. So losing those 2 matches wasn't fun at all. But hopefully we don't lose any more going forward. But I think for us, obviously I actually play a game later tonight. And if we win tonight, then we're top of the group. So that's important for us.
Yeah.
And we can either meet, I guess, you know, Real Madrid or Arsenal or something like this in the quarterfinal. But I think obviously the big name Barcelona, I think, you know, obviously they're another world-class club. And I think if we meet them, you know, either in the semi or the final, it's going to be a good match. And I think we're excited, and obviously we want to play the best, and you have to play the best to win. So I would say we're looking forward to meeting them, and we're excited for the challenge.
Yeah, it was great to see you guys beat Paris because that was they're on the top as well of their category. So it was really great to see you guys beat them. My second question is, how does playing for Lyon compare to playing for Matildas?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I love playing for Australia, and that's one that I would, you know, never take for granted. And I love every time I step on the field, I, you know, give 100%. And I think for me, playing for Australia, I feel like I have a little bit more of a responsibility now, I guess, to perform a little bit. Obviously, because I'm here at Lyon, and I feel like I have that expectation now. But with the girls and in Australia, I think we have such a good connection on and off the field, and it's just so enjoyable when I play for Australia, and we all play for each other, and like we have that attitude that we never give up. And I love that about that team. And we can do special things, obviously, at the Olympics, and we came so close to getting a medal. And that win over Great Britain, I think us coming together as a team then, I've never felt anything like that. And I think because we just work so hard for each other on the pitch. And I guess with Lyon, for me, I find it so enjoyable and I guess easy to play because everyone around me is like obviously world class, and I don't really have to think so much, you know, like it's just so like it just comes natural. And I guess being around so many good players, it helps me a lot grow. And I learn and I improve every game, and it's where I can, you know, I guess express myself and try out new things and experiment here and there. But for me, I love playing for Lyon. Every game is just so fun, and I think I guess better with every game here, and that's why I wanted to come here, was to improve my game. And I feel like I definitely am doing that here, and it's just very enjoyable. So I think it's safe to say that I enjoy playing for Australia and Lyon very much, and I'm very proud to be part of both teams, really.
Yeah, brilliant. With Matildas being such a young team, do you feel that even though you're young, that you take on a more responsible, mature role in the team?
Yeah, I do, and that's a bit weird because I am only 21.
Yeah.
I do feel like that. Obviously, I've been in the team for 5 or 6 years now, so I do feel a little bit like a veteran, but not really. But it's nice, I guess, to take on that role, and I can, I guess, show my experiences and my experience that I have here in Lyon, and I can take that into the national team. And I think that's also important for the national team, so we can, you know, grow and be better. And obviously, so many of the girls now playing in top clubs in Europe, so that only helps us as well. So, I'm very proud to be part of that team and the role that I play.
Yeah, it's really exciting times for the Tillies. It's great to see you guys doing so well. Last question, because what's your favourite stadium that you've played at, apart from Parramatta Field?
Yeah, I do love that one. I was going to say Bank West. That stadium is so cool, and the stand is so close to the pitch, and the supporters, you can hear them throughout the whole game. But my other stadium, I would have to say Lyon, the Groupama Stadium. I think it's such an amazing stadium, and every time we play there, I just love it. You know, when you walk into a stadium and you feel like, I just want to play here, and it's always good vibes. So I think I'll definitely say like my stadium here in Lyon.
Just one last thing, because I've been watching, obviously, you know, the other Matildas girls playing, and the teams over there, the fans are just incredible. And just seeing Sam Kerr and Chelsea fans, and then seeing the Lyon fans, I think Australia is finally catching on and really getting on with it. And to see the Matildas get that last minute grasp of that equaliser against USA. So we're all really looking forward to seeing you guys play for the World Cup. But I'm hoping that the fans support you and don't put the pressure on you. And I think that's part of Australia, really. We support you no matter what. So yeah, all the best.
Thank you. And we're very excited to be playing at home for the World Cup. And I guess just saw a glimpse of what it can be like, obviously with that record, 36,000, and you know, in a year and a half, and we have the whole world in Australia watching women's football, and I think it'll be sold out everywhere. So we can't wait to play, and the Australian fans, really get around us and support us no matter what. So we're so glad we're Australian and have the best fans. Yeah,
so it's been great chatting with you. Thanks for the opportunity to SingaCup as well, and yeah, all the best to Lyon. Bon chance.
Joanne, thank you so much for your questions. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. But Ellie, before we let you go, I have a couple more questions to throw at you. This is more of a comment than a question, but on YouTube from Mrs. Me Vadushka, she says, I hope you get awarded Le Ballon d'Or one day. Incredible work with Lyon. Grateful to have you there. But this question comes on Facebook from Sham Sundar. She asked, how do you feel about playing in India at the Asian Cup next year?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be heading to India for the Asian Cup. I think it's going to be an amazing tournament, and so many teams will be there, and I think it'll be the most competitive Asian Cup there has been, and that just shows the growth, I guess, in women's football. So we're excited to go there, and yeah, I'm very excited to go there as well, and it should be a great tournament.
Ellie, I have to thank you so much for spending some time with us, as well as Joanne and Lucy for all their questions. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. And I wish you all the best in the future, in your career. And yeah, stay safe, take care. But before we let you go, Ellie, for all of you at home, don't go anywhere just yet. We do have a little bit more in store for you, because right up is the SingaCup Travel Show. Enjoy.
Here we go, SingaCup, no we're not giving up. And we are celebrating SingaCup for this series. This is, of course, the largest and fastest growing 11-a-side international youth tournament in Asia. Now, this event actually commenced in 2011 with 12 teams in a wide range of age categories from under 8 to under 18. The theme this year is all about women empowerment and women's football, and that's why we'll have Ernie and Lila in the coming episodes doing all sorts of challenges as we explore Singapore. For now though, we have Selva, who is the tournament director of SingaCup. Hello Selva. So tell me the intention behind SingaCup.
So SingaCup was started in 2011. We started with the idea of blending sports with tourism. So we want to make it international and give every kid an opportunity to actually a platform to compete in the international level. So whether be it from grassroots or being from academies, being from clubs, so we wanted to bring them in and bond them through sports, because football actually bonds people, unifies the community. So that's how we actually started SingaCup in 2011. We started with only 12 teams, and we grew over the years, and back in 2019 it was about close to about 150 teams. And we're looking forward to the 10th edition in 2020, and then things happened to change.
And so what can we expect from SingaCup in the coming year?
So yeah, in view of the pandemic, we have to stay relevant as well because SingaCup family, they generally look forward to SingaCup every year. So of course, we also have to show our resilience, and that's why in line with this, we came up with a theme. We had resilience, teamwork, and fighting spirit. So we did a totally virtual event, and we renamed it as SingaCup. And this was all done within 3 months. So we had a few live chats via Zoom. So and we managed to keep the SingaCup family intact through this, and we continue to engage them.
The past year has been pretty difficult for many industries. So how did SingaCup survive?
I would say it is better, but of course we are getting there slowly but surely. So this year we have made it a hybrid event. So there's a small physical element to it in view of next year's full-on physical tournament. So this year we have done a 4v4 physical tournament. And also we wanted to refresh people's memory and also rediscovering Singapore. I'm sure my SingaCup family misses Singapore, so it's been almost 2 years since they came here. So there are a lot of changes as well, and Singapore is well known for that. So we want to use SingaCup travel series to actually travel around Singapore and showcase the hidden gems in Singapore.
And joining us with food in his hand is Prem, who is the partner of Skyfall Rooftop Restro Bar.
Hi guys, welcome to Skyfall Rooftop Restaurant Bar. We're the newest rooftop restaurant in Singapore. What I'm holding on here are a couple of our popular dishes, the truffle mushroom pizza and the king's claw. Yeah, we are honored to be the official entertainment venue for SingaCup 2022.
Excuse me!
I'm right. Yeah, of course. You're right.
Here we go, SingaCup, no we're not giving up, ole, 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 down, down, ooh, da, 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 da.
Hi everyone, I'm Cho here. Looking forward to meeting all of you at the SingaCup virtual meet and greet this Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. live on Facebook and YouTube. Come ready with your questions and I will be sure to answer them. See you guys then.
No peak too high to reach, no roads too long to
As they
see.
play it over
The
to the
highest
left-hand.
mountain
Goodness, but there is
we'll
Mbappe, and there's gonna be a goal record. There is Sadio Mane, and there it is, and then, and you know, here's Alvin Tum. He looks for Billy United, and Billy United, who goes to Nelly, and Joko can take the shot, and it's another goal. Then from kick Ronaldo, and it's 1-0 to Jindy, and the prancing bird flies again. Congratulations once again to Jindy for proving to be the best in this 8 Nations tournament.
We're headed for our dreams, gold opportunities, our heart connect us tonight. Our hands up to the sky. Long as you're by my side, we will fly. Hey! Na na ooh na 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 ooh na 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 ooh na yeah yeah yeah. Na na ooh na 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 ooh na ooh na yeah yeah yeah. Here we go, sing a roar, take the lead, sing a more. Ole 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 ole. Here we go, sing a club, no we're not giving up. Ole 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 ole.
Come on, let's play. Ain't nothing gonna hold us down. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the keys, we're running this town. Come on, let's play.
No one comes back fully from an ACL injury. That's what everyone tells me. So definitely, no one comes back from 2 ACL injuries. Everybody said my career was over, that I would never play again, that I won't be able to kick the ball again. They said that I will never be the same again. Then I heard the voices of my wife and kids. They wanted me to be on the field. They kept asking me when I will be on the field again. For them, I made myself a promise. I don't want just to be back to my best again. I want to be better. Better than my best. I ignored my critics and I took their words as motivation instead. Motivation to work even harder. Every single day, from 8 AM to 5 PM, I was in the gym. In the morning, I was doing knee rehab, then lunch, power nap. 2 PM, continued with upper body workout and ended it with icing and stretching. Monday to Saturday for about a year. To be even stronger than I ever was, I needed to go further. I met a nutritionist, a sports psychologist, and doctors. I also did my own research and learned much more about nutrition and sports science in order to make my comeback. To change my story, I had to change my life. I prioritized sleep, rest, yoga, strength and conditioning work. Before my ACL, I didn't care about watching my diet. But now, I make sure I eat good, healthy and proper food. I was becoming physically and mentally stronger. But things got harder. In 2013, I finally got back to the field. My performance was bad. I considered a lot of goals. I was rusty due to the long layoff and being out of action for so long. My critics were having the last laugh. So what did I do? I do what I always do. I put my head down and got back to work. My newfound knowledge and wisdom gave me the mental strength to keep going. I continued to learn new things. I repeated the same recovery training again and again. My family was watching and waiting, so I kept going. The hard work finally paid off. In 2014, I won the league with Warriors FC. I won the Player of the Year in the S League. I even got an offer to play overseas in Thailand for Army United for 2 years. In 2015, I was voted Goalkeeper of the Year by Goal Thailand. And then, while playing for Home United, I had an unfortunate accident. I had a head collision with a player from the opponent. I broke my nose. Was in a concussion for around 2 to 3 hours. The doctor said I will be out for at least 3 months. So what did I do about it? I did nothing different. Because what happens to you doesn't define you. It's what you do that defines you. My name is Hassan Sani. My question to you is, what would you do?
place I call home.
Our home. This is where we live amongst trees and carve them out of metal. Where impossibilities lead us to endless possibilities. This is where all that you're passionate about, all that drives you, is made possible. This is where passion is made possible.
No peak too high to reach.